Series 3. Island of Surprise. The Royal Birthmark. Genre. Fantasy romance. Copyright. Independently published 089. 2025. Author Dr. Sheree E. Love PhD. Table of Content. 1. Episode 7A Home Away from Home. 2. Episode 8 The Royal Birthmark. 3. Episode 9 Royal Poinciana Iridescence. Episode 7. A Home Away from Home. Sitting down at the table, Oliver said, "It's important for you to know that this would be a contract marriage. You would need to keep what you learn about my family and I private. This marriage is forever, and if there are any issues you must bring them to me. Do you understand?" Oliver asked Olivia. "Yes," she replied. "Is this something you will agree to?" "Yes," Olivia replied. "Yes, I want to marry you," Olivia said to Oliver. Oliver opened his vest and pulled out the contract for Olivia to sign, and she did in fact review them and also signed them. Oliver told Olivia not to worry about the private office. "They will start clearing it after you and I leave. The car is waiting for us," Oliver said to Olivia. "Shall we go now?" Oliver asked Olivia. "Yes," Olivia replied, and Oliver opened the door and Olivia left out the door in front of him. All the security personnel were still in their positions and had said have a good evening as Oliver was leaving the building with Olivia. Visiting her parents, Julie Reese, her mother, and her dad, Bryden Reese, at their villa that is a spacious and luxurious residence in South Beach. Olivia having a conversation about her engagement to Oliver as her brother Ethan and her sister Melissa walked in the kitchen. They would be meeting with Oliver for the first time and have a decision to make about a short wedding on a yacht. The next evening, Olivia and her family all arrived together at Oliver's home in a Mercedes limo. Greeting them at the door, "Welcome," Oliver said to them as they entered his home, and he greeted Olivia with a kiss. The evening was going well and her parents had no issue with a short wedding or its location. The wedding was something to celebrate being polite. "Excuse me for a moment while I get a bottle of Louis Roederer Champagne Crystal Vino Thec," Oliver said to his guest. Olivia being happy and engaged in conversation when Oliver returned, and she smiled at him as he looked at her. "Would everyone like to join me in a toast to commemorate a special occasion, the joining of our two families?" Oliver asked, and yes was the reply from his guest, with the raising of glasses. "This toast is to our wedding day. I love you, Olivia," Oliver exclaimed. "Love you too," Olivia also exclaimed, and everyone had toast to the upcoming wedding, joining in more conversation, and shortly after saying good night, "It was nice meeting you, Mr. and Mrs. Reese," Oliver said to her parents. "It was good meeting with you also, Mrs. and Mr. Reese replied, afterwards giving Olivia a soft, gentle kiss as she stopped for a moment, then followed behind her parents, riding home with them for the evening. It was the day of the ceremony, and 4 days had passed since Olivia's dad had talked with Oliver, just family arriving at the port. The steward and his crew were waiting for everyone to be done boarding before starting service. The superyacht set sail at sea, waiting for the ceremony to begin as Oliver looked at Olivia as she entered the Sky Lounge on the upper deck, walking towards him. With the officiant performing the wedding ceremony according to tradition, with Olivia's dad, Mr. Reese, giving giving her away, the two of them walked with their arms wrapped around each other, showing a family closeness. As they approached the altar decorated with beautiful white roses, symbols of purity and a clean start. Exchanging their wedding vows as Oliver and Olivia's family were watching, the couple's ceremony was completed and they were now Mr. and Mrs. Mateo. Everyone stayed on the super yacht for 3 days, enjoying the panoramic view and the plus seating, as well as the entertainment system, without Oliver and Olivia, who had taken a helicopter going to their honeymoon. To Olivia's surprise, it was an island, Nassau, Bahamas, and in their private room the hummingbirds had entered while Oliver was kissing her. "This is my family's home," Oliver said to Olivia as she smiled at him. Oliver took a look around the room at the hummingbird, as did Olivia, as Oliver was still holding her in his arms. There was a reason the hummingbird seemed to know their way around. Oliver was not ready to tell her, and he had not shown Olivia a secret about her wedding ring yet. No one except Olivia and Oliver are at the family home, along with housekeeping staff, a butler and waiting staff. Having a conversation with Olivia as Oliver took a step back, looking directly at her. "You and I will be able to relax this evening, not needing to leave the bedroom," Oliver said. "It has its own 2-sink and 2-shower restroom." After walking up to steps, Oliver motioned with his left hand towards the deck as he said, "In the bedroom there is also an indoor deck for lounging, dining, and enjoying the scenery with a large window." Looking at Oliver as Olivia was listening to him, "When meals are to be brought to the room, there would be no need for us to open the door. On both sides of the door there is a wooden panel that slides open on both sides, that has a shelf attached to it. You would put your hand on the shelf and slide it left or right, rolling the dinner cart inside, and no one walking around would know it was there until it needed to be removed," Oliver said. Olivia noticed that there were no red roses, they were white, with royal poinciana placed around the room and just royal poinciana as a centerpiece on the table near the window of the indoor deck. Oliver had pulled Olivia closer to him with his head resting on her shoulder. Oliver not being able to see where Olivia was looking, she had also noticed that there were royal poinciana on the floor near the inside entrance area of the restroom. Oliver lifted his head and looked into Olivia's eyes, saying, "I need to speak with you about you and I." "All right," Olivia replied as she looked at Oliver. Oliver holding her right hand and placed it in his right hand, placing his left hand on top. "I have a birthmark, and when I become intimate with you, you will also have it, and it will never go away, and our child will also get the birthmark." Olivia just looked at Oliver and did not say anything and continued to listen to Oliver. "If you and I would have been intimate before you and I had gotten married, you would not have received it," Oliver said to Olivia. "Would you like to see my birthmark right now?" Oliver had asked Olivia. "Yes," she replied, and Oliver lifted up his left hand, rolling up his long-sleeve shirt. It was his birthmark on his inner wrist near the radius. "It looks like a seashell, similar to my wedding ring," Olivia said to Oliver, and Oliver smiled at Olivia and said to her, "It is why I thought of your ring design." Episode 8. The Royal Birthmark. Oliver leaned over and he kissed Olivia, pausing for a moment. Oliver, conveying a feeling of being accepted, he said to Olivia, "I need to show you that my birthmark is something to me. It will also to you and our child. All right, Olivia said to Oliver, reassuring him of her desire for closeness and a deeper connection. As he stood in front of Olivia, placing two of his fingers on top of his birthmark, a crown appeared on Oliver's head that looked just like the one his parents was wearing. Oliver's clothing had changed from formal to a casual cotton two-piece that you could wear comfortably at the beach on a hot day. Oliver said to Olivia that his birthmark is also a beacon. If either of us is lost or in trouble, it would show a visible light signaling as a warning. Olivia stood up and held Oliver in her arms, and they looked at each other and began kissing. Walking up the steps to the deck as they held hands, Olivia was wearing her beautiful white laced bridal gown, and Oliver, with his black tie Kingston European slim fit design tuxedo on, walked their way to the large window. Looking over at a cherry wood table set for two, having Dom Perignon Rosé P2 Vintage on ice, Olivia, noticing that dinner has been served, covered with elegant crystal lids that would keep the meals from getting cold or too warm. As Olivia had stopped looking in the direction of the table, Oliver looked at Olivia and told her how beautiful she looked. Thank you, Olivia said to Oliver, you look very handsome. Would you like a glass of champagne? Oliver asked. Yes, I would, thank you, Olivia replied. Oliver walked near the table toward a square display with buttons on it attached to the wall, and pushed a button and music began to play. I hope you will enjoy the music selection, Oliver said to Olivia as he walked to the table. Okay, Olivia replied, and Oliver, after pouring their glass of Dom Perignon Rosé P2 Vintage Champagne, walked back to the window. Standing at the window, Oliver had his hand around Olivia's waist, near her waistline, as they looked steadily without change, out the window. It's beautiful, Olivia said as she kept a tear from dropping from her eyes, stopped herself from being overcome by emotion. While sipping their champagne, Oliver started telling Olivia the name of the trees they were looking at. Pointing at a silk cotton tree, Royal Poinciana tree, Lignum vitae tree, and a palm tree. Olivia asked about an area of trees that appeared to something's hanging from them. Those are fruit trees in the fruit garden, Oliver replied, saying there is a mango tree, a sea grape tree, and lime tree, and a banana tree. With the window being open, it is likely how the hummingbird had gotten in. Olivia pointed with her hand going out the window at an area where she can in fact see several hummingbirds. Is that a part of the garden, to Oliver? Olivia asked Oliver as she looks and can see that there is a bench to sit there. Oliver said yes, that is also part of the garden. Those are the flowers that hummingbirds seem to like the most. Oliver and Olivia continued to watch the hummingbird ascending in the sky, just flying around, while some hummingbirds were just enjoying the flowers. What kind of flowers are those, Oliver? Olivia asked Oliver as she was sipping on her glass of Dom Perignon Rosé P2 Vintage Champagne. Those are scarlet gilia, bee balm, fuchsia, coral honeysuckle, and the trumpet, Oliver replied. After gazing at view for a few moments longer, would my wife like to join me for dinner? Oliver asked Olivia. Your wife would love to join her husband for dinner, Olivia said to Oliver. Together they walked over to the table set for two. Oliver pulled the chair out for Olivia and she sat down, changing her posture and resting her feet. Looking at Oliver and how handsome he looked in his tuxedo, while she also was admiring his goatee. After blessing blessing the food and giving thanks for their good health. The two of them began enjoying their meal placed on white fine china with royal York, red raspberry plate, cream soup and bowl, saucer set. With a bowl of fresh apricots and cherries for them to enjoy that is set at the side of both of them. Braised with a Moroccan warm spice, their lamb brisket is quite tasty, including side dishes of Brussels sprouts, corn on the cob, carrots, and deep-fried okra. Mashed potatoes with just the right amount of butter on top for the potatoes to stand out on their own, with a side of dark gravy. Their dinner has a pleasant and enjoyable flavor combination. Oliver getting up to pour Olivia and himself a glass of Dom Perignon Rosé P2 vintage champagne after removing their dinner plates. Handing her glass to Olivia, he returned to his seat, removing the crystal lid from their dessert. "This is a real treat," Olivia said, and after tasting the dessert, she continued on saying, "It is exceptionally delicious and is intensely satisfying." Oliver looked at Olivia with a smile on his face as he said to Olivia, "Is that so?" He took a moment before finishing his dessert, and looked at his wife Olivia enjoying a lemon cake that has a lemon filling inside with whipped cream on top. Oliver could see that Olivia meant every word she had said. The luxurious dessert with its savory flavor was his original recipe that has more than one level of richness. Oliver thought to himself, "If she is that pleased, I must surprise her with another recipe," as he was drinking the wine that remained in his glass. "Oliver," Olivia said, getting his attention, "this dinner was very pleasant, thank you," she said to Oliver. "You're welcome," he said. "Are you ready to leave the table now?" Oliver asked Olivia. "Yes, I am ready to remove my dress so I can relax," she replied. As they returned to the main level of their bedroom, Oliver showed Olivia where she can place her things. Episode 9. Royal Poinciana Iridescence. Pleased that her luggage had in fact arrived and her clothing have already been put away in a shipper, ready for her to select what she wanted to wear. Turning around, Olivia, seeing Oliver take the crown he is wearing off of his head, placing it on a hat stand. "I did not realize you could take your crown off," Olivia said to Oliver. "Yes, I can take it off. I can control when I wear it and what I am wearing. Would you be so kind as to help me with my bridal gown?" Olivia asked Oliver. "I would be more than happy to help you with your gown, my love," Oliver replied. Helping Olivia with her gown as it slides off of her shoulders, then Oliver kissed each shoulder before walking away. Wearing absolutely nothing, Olivia and Oliver took each other's hand and walked their way into the restroom. The luxurious restroom was covered in silver wallpaper having decorative Swarovski crystals and a 42 inches French Marseille 12 light Art Deco slip shade chandelier in antique brass finish. For the extra added touch of light when needed, the Royal Poinciana and the lighting, just so pleasing to the eye, Olivia thought. Having wall-mounted racks designed for hanging garments. The showers, being conservative in their design, have a music and light water-resistant control pad that is attached to the wall, on the inside of each shower, along with a small dimming crystal chandelier ceiling light fixture. With a formal modern look, the showers have walls of stone. Quartz geode stone, sparkling white and clear crystals in natural rough gray rock. Along with stone having aggregates of silvery, metallic, specular and its mirror-like hematite flakes including tabular, anhedral crystals. with glass doors that are transparent. There is a Tafco oval geometric vinyl brass accent designed window at the center of the wall, with a Ashley Poyland armoire chest that has 5 drawers with a door that is black oak wood, placed just below the window for storage. Champagne on ice in a brass champagne bucket resting on an antique brass metal tripod cocktail table, next to a leather ottoman dark gray in color. Holding the door open to the shower as Olivia enters, Oliver also enters the shower, closing the door behind them. As Olivia turns on the shower, Oliver turns on the music. Oliver puts his hands on Olivia's waist, allowing them to become more closely acquainted. Using a large oval sponge to absorb the lavender liquid soap, to improve mood and reduce anxiety with its calming and relaxing properties. Oliver, with a gentle touch, started washing Olivia's back as the sponge covered with foam from the mixing of the water and lavender liquid soap. As the bubbles from the lavender liquid soap were dripping down in the front and on the back parts of Olivia's body, Olivia turned around. Looking directly at Oliver covered in foam from the lavender liquid soap, "Turn around," Olivia had asked Oliver. After Oliver gazed at her, seeing that Olivia's body was covered with bubbles, Oliver conveys affection, giving Olivia a short and sweet tender kiss without being overly passionate. As the foam bubbles were dripping from her body, Oliver smiled at Olivia, turning around as he said, "I wanted you. And I too enjoy the tenderness and affection when you and I shower together privately." Olivia, with minimal pressure, began washing Oliver's back, spreading the lavender liquid soap on his shoulders, watching it lather, turning into foam bubbles as it was dripping down. With a gesture of comfort, Olivia was using the sponge to massaging Oliver's back. That would help relieve muscle tension, with a gentle touch of reassurance that she was enjoying it. Olivia, standing on her tippy toes, kissed both sides of Oliver's shoulders. Turning around, Oliver and Olivia looking at each other as they were standing there covered in foam bubbles. Having a feeling of warmth and closeness between them. Given Olivia a kiss on her nose, then her neck, as the foam bubbles were running down Oliver's body. With a slightly longer and with a soft touch, Oliver kissed Olivia's lips. They embraced each other as they were detached from wandering thoughts and began kissing. It was private, personal and very passionate. The two of them were intimate, as the shower water continued running. Expressing affection after exiting the shower, Oliver and Olivia had dried each other's hair. Touching Olivia's elbows with his right hand as he took a step back, giving a look at Olivia's hair, while standing next to the ottoman. Returning the towels back to the mounted racks on the wall, Oliver asked Olivia if she would like him to pour her a glass of champagne. "I would enjoy that a lot," Olivia replied as Oliver walked back towards her, with the restroom overall light level being reduced. It was more of an intimate atmosphere that felt cozier, contributing to a more gentle ambiance. With the royal poinciana flowers shimmering, exhibiting a iridescence, a visual effect from the light being reflected from the chandelier as they laid all over the floor. Oliver stood by the champagne on ice, pouring them both a glass. Sitting on the ottoman waiting for Oliver to join her, Olivia and Oliver were both wearing terry cloth bathrobes that are turquoise blue in color, with a thin white cotton lining on the inside and on the outside cuffs. On their feet are varicose two-tone memory foam turquoise blue and dark gray house slippers. Oliver reached out his hand, handing Olivia her glass of champagne, and Olivia stood up saying, "Thank you," to Oliver. Standing next to Oliver and the two of them being pleased with the layers of flavor the champagne has, as they were sipping their champagne. "Let's make a toast to us," Olivia said to Oliver and continued on to say, "To love and adventure." "I agree. To love and adventure," Oliver replied, and they both toast to it and celebrate.